Never in the history of the world have the merchants of obscenity had available to them the modern facilities for disseminating this filth. Disseminating this filth. The onslaught of the communist masters of deceit.
Pinko, Commie, Slutz. Pinko, Commie, Slutz. Pinko, Commie, Slutz. Pinko, Commie, Slutz.
So track 3 on RA's new album feels like the writers of This Is Us wrote the lyrics.
Look, I will not engage in any R.A. the Rugged Man slander under any circumstance.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I know that
R.A.
man personally. He's so lovely, and
he seems like a lovely guy, but it's just so freaking cool. Like, it starts with a girl getting raped in high school and then killing herself. And then follows up with a boy overdosing in heroin in high school. And it has this, like, super corny, like, drama-filled music video to go along with it. And it has this really white bread acoustic guitarist on it, David Miles. I don't know if anyone knows who that is. I did not. But, yeah. Fun album so far.
That's right. That's R.A. the Rugged Man's new album. All his heroes are dead.
That is true.
Yeah.
And if R.A. the Rugged Man was your hero, you might feel that way too.
Yeah. Full disclosure for the fans out there, I do, in fact, know R.A. the Rugged Man personally. He's a stand-up fella. My sister was his roommate for a while. Yeah.
His kids are cute. He's cute with his kids.
That's right. They are very cute. Anyway, good guy, excellent rapper, very talented, from Long Island, a whole thing. All right. Anyway, guys, welcome to Pinko, Commie, Slutz. It is I, Bunny, and I'm joined by my pals, Marlowe and Steve. We're coming to you live on this real Good Friday. That's right.
I mean, it's live now. It won't be live when they listen.
Well, yeah. I know. They know too. They know how podcasts work. But yes, what we are recording on this here, the Orthodox Good Friday, which is, of course, the real one. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. We're not till tomorrow night, but yes, Alithos Anesti. It's crazy to me, though. Truly. This is the first time in my lifetime that I know we're not holding a full fake funeral for Jesus outside, which is something I've participated in many times in Greek town, in Baltimore growing up.
When you say fake funeral, is it like a passion play, or is it like a modern day funeral that you're...
It is like the full funeral ceremony, but done to a floral pyre with an icon on it. So wow. you do the same thing. I mean, there's some traditions we don't do for every funeral now that were part of the whole thing back in the day. Like the big thing, if you live around a Greek town or someplace that they're doing an Orthodox Easter situation, they'll do a funeral walk around the block, at least, of the church, singing the funeral song with a big icon of Jesus on a floral pyre that the OGLs, the old Greek ladies, have been decorating all week. That's usually what's happening. And like, it's pretty much the only ritual I still ever participate in. And I am surprised how bummed I am that it's not an option, you know? But anyway, do yourselves a favor. Look up that spooky Greek Orthodox funeral song that we also sing on Good Friday about memories being eternal. I don't know. It's a scary song, to be honest, but very comforting for me personally because I grew up with it. But But yeah, I don't know. I'm like, should I have tried to get a lamb? Like, this is just really sad. Not so much for me personally, but for everybody I know who this is a way bigger deal in their life. This is a huge disruption that they're not able to do the big Greek Easter situation. It's crazy.
More like my small, skinny Greek Easter.
potential show title. Anyway, guys, why don't we pivot from Greek Easter into Dr. Oz, the menace that is attacking America? Of course, that's connected because Dr. Oz is a dirty Turk. And that's primarily
only racist in Germany.
Yes, only racist in Germany. It is, frankly, woke coming from a Greek. So, do with that what you will. Speaking to an imperial power. Anyway, Dr. Oz, he said he was okay with the appetizing idea of just 2-3% of children dying, I believe. He walked it back a little bit.
For the Turks, children dying is a wedding.
Children dying is a wedding for the Turks. Wait. But yeah, we've got the competing Oprah doctors all trying to kill us at the same time.
Yeah, right? Which, I have my weird thing that I've gone off on about Dr. Phil, but no one cares about but me, which is the dude's clearly a research psychologist if you look at his history with Oprah.
Mm-hmm. Well, he is not an MD.
Yeah, he's not a therapeutic shrink because Oprah originally hired him as an expert witness when she got sued. That's how he met Oprah.
Wait, sued about the beef?
Yeah, the beef thing.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Oprah did a story on mad cow disease, I think, and was like, well, I'm never buying beef again. And then the beef industry is like, oh, you hurt our business because you're so popular. So they sued her, and she hired Dr. Phil as an expert witness. I'm not sure in what capacity he was an expert witness, but that is how Oprah and Dr. Phil met.
Oh, man.
So I'm curious if, Dr. Phil has, papers out that are relevant to getting sued by the beef industry like that, her lawyers went and researched and were like, oh, we should get this guy.
We got to get this guy. He knows how to talk to the beef people.
Yeah, I don't know why Dr. Phil is an expert witness for beef-related lawsuits, and it's been something I've always been curious about.
If any of the fans can let us in.
Yeah, I'm sure I could figure it out in 20 seconds of Googling, but...
So he wants both Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz want us to go...
Yeah, they want us to die.
They want us to die.
They've made that clear.
Well, there's been a big push in the last week.
Yeah, I think Florida's opened their beaches back already.
Yeah, Florida, Jacksonville.
Yeah, a couple hours ago, they opened the beaches back up, and people went.
For Good Friday.
Immediately. Yeah.
Denise Anesti, they said.
That's right. There are a lot of Greeks in Florida.
For the flaming cheese.
Yeah, Saganaki.
Yeah,
the flaming cheese.
I was listening to Stav talk about it earlier today.
Yeah, the Saganaki thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'd assume Saganaki's awesome.
It's great. You light it on fire, you eat it. It's wonderful. We've got a lot of good grilling cheese. We got halloumi. It's a good time. It's a sad time for all the Greek people who usually cook way too much this week. Who are they going to feed it all to? They're just dropping it off. I know these old Greek ladies. They're firebombing their families with food.
Yeah. We can make this for premium content, but I just want to say every time I've played a chess game while recording one of these episodes, I fucking and have premium content. Marlowe discusses his chess games while he's recording the podcast.
You gotta make that a video content. Yeah, you gotta
absolutely.
Let us see the board. We gotta see the board.
Yep.
All right. These doctors are trying to kill us. I'm worried. I am worried that people are going to feel pressured to go back to work too soon. I'm also like, it's too soon already. I think that I need to be telling people, shut the hell up. Don't do anything. Like, it's not, most people I know are not employed in a capacity where their job is an emergency. The lack of production in their specific area really not important, but I am seeing a lot of people, they don't want to dwell. They don't want to think about these things. A lot of people are mad about this small business situation. The money's gone. There's no more money for the small businesses with this stimulus. Well-known small businesses like Ruth Chris Steakhouse and Shake Shack have gotten money in the small business stimulus. And what I've seen, which has been an interesting take, is actual owners of small business who are a little bit in that bubble where they're kind of conservative because they have a mistaken idea about where their money comes from. They are blaming the Democrats for the running out of money for the small businesses. They're blaming that bitch Nancy Pelosi. And I want to share a very fun QAnon adjacent, I think, take I saw on someone I know who owns a small business in Baltimore was complaining about this situation, and someone commented, "It's that bitch Pelosi's doing," and I quote, "Because come on, what kind of rich 80-year-old keeps working?" ?
Wait, what?
What kind of rich 80-year-old keeps working? Implying that if you're 80 years old and wealthy and you insist on working, that you will have nefarious lizard people
honestly, I kind of agree with that to an extent.
It doesn't not make sense, so I wanted to share it here.
Yeah, all the Congress people, sure, Bernie or whatever, but all the Congress people, you have to have a level of sociopathy or you're just serving your own class interest to that extent to continue to put yourself out there at that age.
Well, yeah, because it's not like Nancy Pelosi's out here I am standing up for a specific
stupid time to bring that up or example of that. But yeah, Nancy Pelosi, if she was a normal person, would be playing with her grandkids.
Mm-hmm. Well, also, it wasn't, as much as we want the Democrats to be criticized, it wasn't the Democrats who decided actual small businesses shouldn't get money and the Shake Shacks should necessarily. And I don't even think this person that was posting about it even had any grasp of that's what was actually happening. But it is interesting how these light QAnon things have leaked into people who think they're normal, at least. I've seen a lot of, well, why would this person do something unless... And a lot of it just goes back to this idea, and the idea, I want to remind everyone, the overarching idea being that the DNC was too corrupt to reform. So secret agent Donald Trump had to infiltrate the GOP and secretly do some shit, which is supposed to reveal pedophiles and stuff. But where are they?
Yeah, the whole thing where there's a kernel of truth to conspiracy theories, and there's the famous quote that anti-Semitism is the socialism of fools, and that can be kind of extended to all conspiracy theories are in many ways the socialism of fools. And what it gets down to is, yeah, things are screwed up, so people look for reasons, and other people can divert those reasons into harmless side plots that don't actually get to the heart of the problem, but keep those people occupied. And there's absolutely a valid point to be made that what the hell is it that these people are just at 80 years old continuing to work and continuing to be in Congress? Why are they doing that? It's not because of any grand conspiracy. It's just basically serving their class interests.
Well, also, Nancy Pelosi needs to stay deep in them ice creams, apparently.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, I guess if it makes more sense to you that, like, she's continuing to work at this age because, like, she's peddling children for Epstein, I guess, sure, that's not true, and it's not a necessarily useful road to go down. But yeah.
Well, I just love the lack of a through line when I see these things casually thrown about, because it's just easy for some people to hate that bitch, Nancy Pelosi, in this weird abstract way, but they don't think about, like, how is she connected to me not getting what I'm supposed to get, you know? I don't know why I'm being so cagey. There is like 0% this person will ever listen to this podcast. This person owns a non-essential business. Let me tell you, it is a tanning salon, okay? So, like, the sheer monstrous absurdity of someone who owns a tanning salon getting angry that they're not able to get the small business stimulus, etc., and then to
doing tanning salons after like 2012.
No, they just taxed them. And this tanning salon, yes, Celine Dion did stop by recently when she was touring.
I remember when Snooki came out against Obama.
Oh, yeah, for the tanning salon.
For taxation of tanning salons. I remember watching that episode going, this is fucking awesome. Snooki was like, don't vote for Obama, vote for Romney 2012 because Obama is pushing a tanning salon tax, which she's obviously very invested in.
Yeah.
I wonder if she has a cameo. Get her to say things.
We can, yeah. How far? What can you ask someone to do on Cameo? I guess they set the parameters.
They have their own parameters and reserve the right to just say like no. I mean, famously, well, that video of Jeff Love from Tiger King saying like "Workers of the World Unite" was absolutely a cameo video. That's why he said it. He's not a communist.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever she's comfortable with, she'll say for whatever.
Whatever her price is, Snooki, we're looking to order a cameo from you. I don't know.
What do we think about these protests? The protests that are cropping up.
The protests of the people who are like, please kill us sooner.
Yeah, I mean, there's fucking superstructure for you, or ideology, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I would say ideology. If you're looking at neoliberalism as a revolution, this is most definitely the counter-revolution.
And I mean, it's insane that people are begging to, but I mean, at the same time, it's not insane because that's the incentive structures they have, and that's what's gonna.
I'm still curious as to what exactly they want.
To go to the mall.
Is it that they are so invested in their job as part of their identity?
No.
Or
no, it's an identity. I mean, it's the idea.
Consumerism as an identity?
I'd say it's far more consumerism as an identity than it is whatever their whatever job they do.
Because their slogans are all like this selfless, like auto work, and like, you know, it's this whole like fucking death cult obsession with needing to work to like make yourself justified in the world, which is a whole fucking set of terribleness already of how capitalism just completely fucks you up and destroys yourself as a self while also raising individuality as a great ideal. Yeah, sucks. I hate those people and feel bad for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of people who, you know, I've seen a lot of clips of just people crying because they couldn't go buy something, you know? It was like some specific item that really bothered them that they like felt like they couldn't go out and buy. And I don't know. Am I crazy to feel like we don't need to shut down very long for people to freak the fuck out. Like, yes, it's scary and there's no definitive end in sight and etc. But it really, like, I feel like people were already saying this 5 days in. So I don't know. I think there's the same energy I felt that there were people who wanted things to shut down because I felt like they wanted a break. I feel like there's a similar energy of we're mad, we want to break things, and like there's no real rhyme or reason to it, and the things they're breaking are themselves. So I guess we'll see. I am amazed and, kind of admiring the American spirit of just because I want to go out and buy stuff, the virus probably won't bother me. Like, that confidence people seem to have right now.
And the hoaxes. I mean, the hoaxes kind of mix into that in a way.
Oh, yeah.
The hoax theories plus the invincibility argument. It really captures that. And also Trump is honestly avoiding all responsibility. He's magicking for himself. I mean, it's either the governor's fault or it's China's fault. I mean, he's got an easy playbook.
Of course he's doing this, and he should keep doing this because it's worked for him. And the thing in politics that doesn't work is apologizing all the time and then taking a fucking DNA test and then apologizing for the DNA test. Apology on the DNA. Better thing to do is Trump just going, yeah, no, this isn't my fault. Fuck it. Fuck you. It's all of your fault.
What's the Veep quote? The never-ending sorry?
I mean, that is like the Democrats to a T, and then they want like a pat on the back for having dignity or playing by the rules that no one gives a fuck.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's almost always like they want congratulations about adhering to the rules. And it's always the rules that are, one, the easiest to meet and, like, the most arbitrary. Like, who gives a shit? Like, I'm very rarely, like, excited that they followed some rules that were important for the safety of people.
Citations needed essentially the Jon Stewart effect of thinking that pointing out hypocrisy somehow means you've won something, when in fact it doesn't. It just means you pointed out hypocrisy and nothing else changes. And Trump is proving that to us. Yeah, it's fine. We know he's an abject liar. Everyone knows that. No one gives a shit about it. And it's been working for him this entire time. And I don't see why he's doing it now.
He's literally getting to the end of his first term and could not tell you, gun to his head, what the president does.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, his answer would be managing
his answer
a business.
Would be whatever the fuck I'm doing because I'm still president, bitch.
Yeah, like essentially.
By definition, what I'm doing is what a president does.
What's funny to me about Trump is that there are a lot of wealthy people who want to set themselves apart from somebody like Donald Trump, right? And in reality, I feel like Donald Trump is such a crystallization of what rich people are kind of told, how they operate in terms of like, oh yeah, it's all about spinning things. It's all about like whatever, because in a rich person's life, there's very little like material consequence for anything. So everything is about like how you can spin it in the moment because nothing else actually matters for these people. So it's like very funny to me when I see wealthy people try to be like, oh no, he's like not of us, when
that's the reason everyone likes him.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason people like him is because
that's why anybody likes any rich people though. Like let's get real.
Yeah,
rich people suck.
People mostly don't like rich people. Like people
because
like
they fucking suck.
Donald
They're
Trump,
lame.
Because if
they're weak.
Donald Trump goes on professional wrestling, which is what these people like. Donald Trump has a gold.
Hey! Don't these people? I'm a stand-up comic. Those are my people too.
Let me just say, by these people, I mean we, all people of America who are outside of the ultra billionaire class. Trump has a gold-plated toilet because that's literally the first anyone says when it's like, oh, if I had $1 billion, yeah, I get a gold-plated toilet. Why? Because it's fucking stupid and I can. And there's an appeal. What people don't like is Bloomberg buying out a fucking billboard in Nevada or whatever going, Donald Trump cheat. People don't like that because that sounds dumb and I don't play golf and fuck you. And yeah, no, like billionaires try and like just argue about Donald Trump that he's gauche or that he's like, that he's
God.
Which is so hilarious to me because
and it's like, yeah,
that entire thing is predicated upon investing in their fucking culture and world in the first place.
Culture, like, yeah, they have this like noblesse largesse or whatever the fuck the phrase is about like how the laws of chivalry by which would carry themselves in the world, and Donald about that, and most other people don't care about that.
The only compelling reason I've heard all week as why you should vote against Donald Trump, you know, other than like he's an insane person, etc. The real like why you should get your dick hard to vote for Biden is because Hunter Biden's much better than both of the Trump sons.
What?
In terms of like being fucking cool as shit.
Yeah, sure.
There's a lot of things that neither Don Jr. or Eric would ever be cool enough to
Hunter
do.
Biden is the Donald Trump to Trump's sons being Biden. Don Jr. and Eric Trump are both Bloomberg types, and Hunter Biden is the Donald Trump of the sons. Yeah, I mean, Hunter Biden's cool as shit. Joe Biden kind of sucks.
All right, but he can suck more, and that gets to my next point about the ways in which he can win against Donald Trump. He can win, but he can then really win by outflanking Trump on the right.
Basically, the strat. Like,
How soon do you think he'll make a VP pick, and how will that shape?
Again, I'm going to stick with my last week prediction that it's going to be a white conservative woman.
probably Klobuchar at this point.
Yeah, Klobuchar. I mean, they were talking about people that were economic specialists in a rumor mill that was passed around the hill earlier, but I don't believe that.
Well, that's just because people want Warren to be the pick, because people have a like complete fantasy that Warren had any kind of like good relationship with the Obama administration in the first place in terms of this specific shit, and they think it'll like draw in people or whatever. I had to disabuse many people of the notion because a lot of people were getting like putting up this narrative of, oh yeah, like they should pick Liz Warren and she'll like pull Biden left and, you know, she'll tax the billionaires and like, you know, and she'll be able to do it without all that toxicity or whatever. Like that, you know, one, this is an argument that completely ignores the allegations against Biden. But it's like as soon as she came on board, when she wasn't just a professor anymore, the Obama administration fought her on everything to the point where Rahm Emanuel described her as pissing in their face at every turn. All these like fucking Warren stands, quote unquote, out here have no idea this even happened. They think that like, oh yeah, like Warren and like Obama were like total BFFs. And I'm like, no. Part of this was to squash Bernie's momentum, but also Obama under no circumstances wanted an Elizabeth Warren situation. I'm partial to those arguments.
Kept her off the goddamn cabinet. Like the Obama administration.
Yeah.
And they continue.
Obama loved Wall Street.
Yeah, they continuously use the excuse, oh, we need her in the Senate, which is like always a bullshit excuse. It's never, she's a senator from fucking Massachusetts. Someone else who's a Democrat can win Massachusetts. It's not a guaranteed seat, but like it's a pretty strong seat, and you get a Republican from Massachusetts. They're generally a Romney type. No one needs Elizabeth Warren in the Senate. They don't like Elizabeth Warren, and they never did.
Well, and then, like, what's frustrating for me is that, like, they don't like Elizabeth Warren for every single point about her that you could argue is arguably progressive or leftist in any context. Right. Like, those are specifically the things they hate about her are those things. So it's
it's not like Biden's saying, yeah, Elizabeth Warren, she really walked back Medicare for all. I don't know if I can trust her.
Yeah. Well, it's frustrating because I'm like, the people who are like, I loved Warren so much and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, for them not to see that the fix was in also against Warren, like,
I don't know about this.
I do. No. I do. Like, this is like where I'm drawing a point. I really do. I think it's that extreme that not only was there a coordinated effort to squash Bernie's momentum, but the fact that there was no coalescing behind Elizabeth Warren as a more milquetoast version of these things whatsoever shows me the intensity of the opposition to even the mildest form of these things within the Democratic Party. It's crazy to me. The stories people tell themselves about who the Democrats are and what they stand for and whatever, I'm like, I've just been shown 80 different ways this past, like, year that they're not any of these things. And even if you put it in a little, like, neoliberally credentialed package like an Elizabeth Warren, they're going to be like, nope, not at all. We're not even doing this, not even a little bit. What's irritating to me is that Warren supporters didn't see that. They didn't see that, like, the Obama and the blah, blah, blah of the party organized against their candidate
Elizabeth Warren
as well.
Doesn't see that, or she doesn't care.
I don't know if which it is. It's just like, I feel like there are smarter people around these candidates, or, like, not even smarter. I don't want to make a value judgment, but, like, more savvy about how the wind is blowing around these candidates. I mean, and it just seems like
Warren could have maybe done better if she actually did disabuse herself that she has real allies within liberalism and just go for broke. But she's never going to do that because, frankly, she's a liberal herself. Like, I don't know what
looking at her as a human, like, I don't know. I spent this past year talking to so many people who are not invested in politics as it exists. Like, all these things where I talk to a lot of people who, yeah, I heard of Elizabeth Warren, where it's just this tangential idea of a politician to so many people who are potential voters. Like, I don't know. I just think, like, the little upstarty kind of Warren supporters I ran into, they're smart enough to be able to put the fucking pieces together. Look, I'm nice, like, guys.
I mean, okay, here's where I'm, like, just questioning you about the fix was in with Warren and shit. Like, She never had a goddamn chance. Like, there never was a moment where she was the more electable Bernie Sanders because she never was doing better than Bernie Sanders.
But do you think if she had the support of more moderates, like, do you think if people told that story better for her, I think that would have worked. I think it would have worked.
Like,
I think it would have worked.
Where they tried to tell that story. But, like, I mean, what happened was she actually went for broke for the moderates. She had her terrible goddamn not Medicare for all thing, and her support completely collapsed because the only people she was convincing with that story were other potential supporters who were like, oh, maybe she is the more electable Bernie. And then they realized, oh, no, she's not. She never she never brought anyone over to her side.
Yeah, her theory for the case was unity amongst two things that wanted opposite things. Yeah, her theory of the case was to run light economic populist, whatever you want to call that, with cultural virtue signal.
I mean, not even cultural.
Like, that's what she did.
I mean, I guess.
I guess right wing of progressivism that is more or less arguing that we can use our identities and representation in order to gain political power.
More of a
and
selling point on this like smart technique, where it's just like, oh, I'm going to be so smart, everyone's going to have to agree with me because we live in a meritocracy, and those two things are correlated.
Yes, that's a big part
agree.
of her, the person, and the people who supported her is like a steadfast belief that, if I show them I've got more plans and I'm smarter and etc., obviously people will coalesce. Never happens.
Right. She was the Hermione Granger, the overzealous student, the person that did the most homework. And part of that homework was the technocratic, cynical use of, call it identity politics or cultural left or whatever you want to call it, that doesn't have any like class theory to it, but generally says, well, if I identify as an oppressed race, or if I identify, very strongly with my gender, then that will bring about political power. And she ran that like far and away more than Bertie did. Maybe not as much as Kamala did, but pretty dang hard. Her idea was to be giving enough economic nibbles with a whole heavy dose of identity. And those two things were two different wings that always conflicted because they wanted different things, and nobody ended up liking her.
Look, a lot of people ended up liking her. Unfortunately, they were all people within blue states that didn't vote yet.
I mean, a lot of people ended up liking her compared to the number of people on this podcast.
Well, yeah. Well, a lot of people who
voted in elections.
And let me be fair.
Very few people.
No, let me be fair. A lot of people who have consistent professional work in media or entertainment loved her. Okay, I ran into it. A lot of people who had better jobs than me thought she was absolutely the better choice, and felt very open to speak down to me about it.
I drive around Park Slope and I see New York for Warren posters in people's walls, like more than any other candidate. They're just still there like antiques that they want to like bow down to and remember the good old days of Warren 2020 before the white man came in.
Before the pale skin came in.
Before the pale skinned septuagenarian patriarchs took over and told a woman that she couldn't be president.
She used to like fucking the pastures of her land spread out as far as the eye can see, and then the white man came and took it all away. And she shed a single tear.
Also secretly Italian. I'm going to put that out there.
Yeah, that dude was Italian as fuck.
Oh my God. If Elizabeth Warren turned out to be secretly Italian, it would be, I would love it. Oh my God.
I could also easily turn this into a entire recap podcast for the Sopranos episode Columbus Day.
That's the only episode of Sopranos I ever want to talk about. One.
I hate the no. That's
I love hating on Columbus as a polenta eating. Oh God, it's such a good episode. It's
considered one of the worst episodes by fans.
I'm sure, but it's one of the best. I literally just want to play it anytime somebody even thinks that they should talk about Italian Americans not being white. Oh, God. Play the episode, please. Just absolutely.
So going back to Biden, what do you think is the first thing that Biden is going to betray the left on and try to outflank Trump on the right?
Trump's gonna like Chinese food too much, and Biden's gonna make an offhand. He's not gonna, but it's gonna be classic Biden. Doesn't realize it's racist, but it is.
Oh yeah, no.
Kind of gaff. We're gonna get some real old school gaffing.
Historically, Biden uses the term Oriental gaff because I feel like there must be.
You know, on the way back from Mumbai to go meet with President Xi in China, I stopped in Singapore to meet with a guy named Lee Kuan Yew, who most foreign policy experts around the world say is the wisest man in the Orient. The wisest man in the Orient. The wisest man in the Orient.
Okay, I want to use this episode 7, to put it out there. My theory that Joe Biden has definitely said the word Johnny more than once.
Wait, what was that?
That is like definitely like
Jungle
it's like
Bunny.
an old timey, semi-racist.
That's
thing.
an Archie Bunker
And
class right there.
And it's like, I definitely feel as if there are at least multiple instances of Joe Biden casually describing something as being. Anyway,
I Googled it. Biden did in fact refer to Asia as the Orient. I don't know that he ever referred to Asia as Orientals, but there are multiple stories from 2014 where he referred to Asia as the Orient.
I have an intuitive feeling as though there are multiple instances of a Joe Biden describing things or people as being like or akin to a jungle bunny. It just seems like a weird, arcane, racist thing that I feel like he didn't say necessarily super recently, but too recently, you know? I feel like Joe Biden's probably got some... what, from my personal standpoint, would be the kind of things I would associate with my Canadian family, where once in a while they would say something weirdly semi-racist, but because it's Canadian, it's like not really grounded in my reality. So you just, what?
I mean, I don't know. Like, look at what 70s and 80s Joe Biden even just looked like. And I feel like you can kind of just hear the words he said in back rooms.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the slick back yuppie mullet. Yeah, he casually dropped multiple slurs, which were only eclipsed by how he spoke about female colleagues. Depending on how Alzheimer's progresses, he's going to say a lot of fun words.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of old timers, did you guys see Noam Chomsky?
Yeah, he says this every goddamn election.
This is all the time.
Yeah, he said to vote for Kerry back in 2004.
I remember, and the only reason to vote for Kerry was because of the smoking hot Teresa Hines Kerry. That's a personal argument, not co-signed by the entire podcast, but no. But okay, what I'm talking about is Noam Chomsky, where he made the argument again that you should vote for the Democrat, etc. But specifically, he did compare people unwilling to vote for Biden to the Social Democrats who wouldn't align against the Nazis.
What do you make of the Never Biden movement?
Well, it also brings up some memories. The early 30s in Germany, the Communist Party, following the Stalinist line at the time, took the position that everybody but us is a social fascist. So there's no difference between the Social Democrats and the Nazis. So therefore, we're not going to join with the Social Democrats to stop the Nazi plague. But we know where that led. Okay.
And I just say, if we're so smart and we know so much about Nazis, why hasn't anyone done what needs to be done? You know, I don't want to hear all this bullshit. No one's going to...
like, the Weimar Republic wasn't exactly a mountain of stability able to hold the Nazis down. Yeah, we can all complain about, was it Thaler was the leader of the KPD? Chomsky does this all the time. I trust that he's an anarchist, but he's one of the lamest anarchists outside of his, like, books and shit.
He always does this. He does. That is true. Anyway, I don't have any other news except to ask if either of you have listened to the new Fiona album. It's worth it. I don't know if it appeals to two gentlemen as yourself to the same degree as it does to me, a slightly older lady. But I love her, and I highly recommend it.
Working my way through Rugged Man right now.
Yeah. Look. Also, yeah. If you leave this podcast with nothing else, please listen to my friend Ari the Rugged Man's new album, "All My Heroes Are Dead," or that new Fiona Apple. It's very good. You'll hear about it.
All right, come on the show. It'll be an awkward interview you won't enjoy.
Look, I could definitely most likely get Ari the Rugged Man to do our podcast. We would just have to actually plan something because he's not going to do any research to do a podcast.
Fair.
Look, Ari's done all kinds of fucking YouTube crazy people's shows and stuff just because they asked him because he's a good dude.
Yeah. Once this is over, that Old Bay hot sauce.
Hell yeah. Look, if I ever get to go to Baltimore again, this is a real sad time for me because typically I do go back for Greek Easter is kind of my bag. I go back, I go to Greek Town, I stay up late, and I go to church and I do a whole thing. And I don't do it every single year, but I've done it most years, even though I'm a fucking dirty heathen who barely takes communion. I am super sad to not be able to do my Greek Easter stuff. Also, we set off fireworks and shit. It's awesome. We eat a ton. We set off fireworks.
Well, isn't that one town? Don't they have a firework fight?
Mm-hmm. That is true. Yes. Yeah. Though I should shout out Greeks in Greece. They were able to handle the pandemic rather well. They're getting celebrated for it, even though they have a chronically understaffed health system. But here's the secret: Greece is full of insular island and mountain villages. It wasn't that hard. And also they love a nap. There's not a scenario where I could see Greeks being like, I gotta go to the Best Buy. They're fine to stay home and drink their wine. Congrats, Greeks, for not fucking it up despite not having all the resources. I will say that. I hope everyone got the point earlier on that Dr. Oz is a dirty Turk. I just want to make sure I hit that before we wrap up. Well, the best part about Dr. Oz saying it was good to kill children was that he said it was appetizing. And
pandemic is like wedding for Turks.
That is. Yes. That's the only joke I want. I could do a whole season of what things are like weddings for Turks. I just hope one day angry Turk Twitter gets a hold of this podcast.
Oh yeah, that's actually how we get famous. Is we piss off right-wing Turkish nationalists. So Erdogan is like woman. He's weak.
He is weak like woman. Turks are nothing but Muslim Greeks.
Your entire nationality is the sick man of Europe. That is all the thing. Are not the continuation of the Roman Empire.
All your food is food of other people.
Mustafa Turk was an alcoholic and a heretic, kufar actually, who didn't even believe in your own religion. Is a great religion. Sunni Islam is wonderful, but you guys worship a bastardized version of it. Come at me, Grey Wolves.
Both the Chapo listeners and the Turkish.
Free Kurdistan, free Kurdistan, and free
That's
Kurdistan.
Right.
And also free Cyprus. I don't care.
Yeah, absolutely free Cyprus. I'm making macaroni to forno once a week in these pandemic times. Making a lot of Greek food, guys. Oh God, I am sadly in touch with what an amazing housewife I would have been in another life.
Well, me and my mom's yogurt projects have in fact progressed to tzatziki.
Oh hell yeah! Hell yeah!
It's pretty banging.
All right, tzatziki. That is an ideal way to end this on the real Good Friday, the Great Friday. Thanks everyone for listening. It's Pinko Commie Slutz. Join our Patreon. I guess like and subscribe us. We're getting shared to more of the podcast places. So I hope we'll be in Apple next week. We're on Twitter. Pinko Slutz. I'm Bunny Themless at Bunny Themless.
I'm at Pinko Steve.
Hell yeah.
I'm Marlowe. Find me.
Yeah, just find him. And I don't know, send us a question. None of us have made any sourdough. So.
But I am actually starting another jar of sauerkraut tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
As well as a fermented ginger garlic paste that was recently featured on Bon Appetit's YouTube channel. So we can discuss how that goes.
We love living food here at the Pinko Commie Slutz podcast. So. All right, guys. Love you.
See ya.
Bye.
Stay alive.